Good evening, good evening, Africa. We're super excited, as always, to get on these calls. This has been a life-changing opportunity for us with our Success series. We're learning so much, and we're running with the momentum of this information, these nuggets and strategies that our global leaders are sharing with us. It is such an honor to have them on this call. And I am more excited from all the feedbacks that I get from the field and from the one-on-one conversations that I have with team leaders who are applying all of these strategies that have been shared. And I can see momentum, in their team. So I hope as you get on this call tonight, as always, you have expectations and that you're going to run with the information that you would gather here from our global top leader. And one of the things that they are doing for us on this amazing Success Series calls is providing mentorship. And in my field, I know that mentorship costs a lot. So here you're getting this mentorship free. And one of the beautiful things that Tim said that made him join our industry from our last call, Team Sales, he said when he saw train, this is the industry that you get to be trained to be able to earn, whatever it is that you're looking forward to earning. What's your vision? What's your goal? This is the industry that trains you to be able to achieve your dreams. And so tonight on this call, we're so glad and blessed to have one of our top global team builder. Is a top power ranker from our 100 power rankers globally. And we're so excited to have James Zheng on the call tonight. I like to read a few bio on James. He's such an amazing person. I'm going to leave him for the next 30 minutes to share with you. But let me read a short bio. This doesn't do him justice. The bio is just him being very humble. So I'll just read the bio for our team. Now, James first got introduced to network marketing as he was a shy, broke, and university student at the University of California, Berkeley, wanting to become a medical doctor. And while he was skeptical about the opportunity, he saw the potential of income and personal growth, and so decided to start the business part-time. His second recruit, ever so, became his top money earner, but eventually became his wife, his lovely wife. Now, James and his lovely wife, Becky, lead the warrior movement, and they are committed to helping people develop their inner warrior in body, mind, and spirit, so they can impact their communities through this business. They currently live in San Diego, California, with their 6-pound Maltese named Coco, a beautiful dog. And they love going to church and spending time with their family and traveling the world. You're welcome to our Africa Success Series. This is a room where we learn, we grow, and we're united in helping each other, reach our dreams in PartnerCo and outside PartnerCo. You're welcome, James.
Thank you so much, Blessing. It is an honor to be with you all today, especially knowing that it's a holiday in South Africa as well, too. So I know that the people that are on here right now, and if you're watching on replay, we love you as well, too, by the way. But if you're here live, there's something about you special because you chose to take time out of your schedule to be on here today to invest in yourself. So for that, I just want to let you know, like, give yourselves a big round of applause. You're all the superstars here. And it's a huge honor because I know what it takes to pioneer anywhere, a business, to pioneer a life, to pioneer goals, but especially a whole country and a whole market. It's not an easy thing, right? Who here, let's just start raw and real and transparent. Who here has experienced some type of difficulty or challenge in your business in this past week, right? Give us a wave or put a me in the comments. You see Nick, shout out to Nick. because we know that with these markets to pioneer them, nowhere is pioneered without amazing leaders to pave the way. Nick Papas, I've known him for many years. You guys all know Nick, like just such an honor to be here with you, to really be able to take the arrows in the back and still have an amazing shining smile all the time, as you know Nick for blessing, for just being a blessing. I know people have said that before, I'm sure, but I got to say that just once, for just being here, and all the other leaders that, whether I know you or I will get to know you, I hope. It's an honor to be here today. So, and I like to be involved with the chat as well too, as you can tell. So I like to have this field conversation. And my goal here today is that you leave not just informed and not just inspired, but transformed, so that you can impact your community, so that you can achieve your goals for you and your families. So let me go through a couple of aspects in here. And if you have any questions, by the way, as we go through this, like I'm going to be reading the chats, and at the end we'll have some Q&As as well too, and everything. But I hope you're ready to take some notes. And let's start with an intention. Okay, make it a goal that from this call today, there's at least one actionable golden nugget that you receive and take. If you can just get one thing today and take an action from it, it's going to pay off. So if you're willing to accept that type of an intention with me, put a 1 in the comments or hold your finger up like that as well too, so I can see. It's super important because I want to make sure that we're all on that together. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So for those of you that don't know me, I've been a network marketing professional for 15 years, 13 years at the same company, a couple, name changes, stuff like that. Been one of the top earners, but it didn't start like that. If you ask me, Blessing, why did I get started in this? Did I think I'd ever be doing this? I think we can all kind of agree on this. Did anyone else ever see themselves growing up being in network marketing? Was that your life goal? It's definitely not for me. I came from a traditional Asian background, and they said basically go to school, graduate, and you can be anything that you want as long as it's a doctor, lawyer, engineer. So I chose being a medical doctor. So I was going to UC Berkeley, one of the best public universities in the world. Thought it was my dream. And what I realized was it was far from it. This is what I saw when I got to school. I saw people were in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. I saw people were graduating still clueless about what to do in their lives. I saw my friends graduating and not getting jobs with the degrees, or layoffs starting to happen as well too. Who here knows anyone, or maybe even yourself, that went and got some formal education, but they're not working anything involved with that at all? Right? Like it's like more than 70%. So I was looking at this, right, Sarah, and I'm just like, maybe I should have a backup plan, right? Just like if you have a car, you're driving, it's wise to have a spare tire. Let's kind of see what else is out there. But let me tell you the real reason why I wanted to look for something more. It wasn't the money. It wasn't amazing products like the Hero line or our Noni or anything. I honestly was not happy with myself. I think the greatest failure in life is trying to achieve something and you get it, but at the end, you still don't have the joy and you still don't have the fulfillment. That is life's greatest failure. And I felt empty. I was super shy. I was like not a confident person. All I knew how to do was how to just study and put it onto a piece of paper. But let me ask us all this question. Who here would want to achieve success financially for you and your family, but also have fulfillment and joy at the same time, right? Give me a hand raise or put a me in the comments if that's the case. And I didn't know what that was, right? Jim Rohn says that self-unhappiness is the greatest unhappiness. I didn't know these things. So I was looking around, and one day one of my friends introduces me to this crazy thing called network marketing. And I was super skeptical. To this day, I've talked to thousands of people about this business. I don't think I met anyone as skeptical as me, Nick. Like, I think I was the most skeptical. I judged everything. I called it a pyramid, all the different things, because I thought I knew what it was. I thought I knew it all. But what got me interested, and this is a big tip if you want to grow a big business, was I met somebody that I was inspired by. I met an eventual mentor, and he showed me that not only could you have financial success, but it was the person that he was. He was 23 years old, but he carried himself like a 40-year-old CEO. He was classy. He was an incredible person. It was people join people. And especially in a market like this, where we're pioneers, you might not have as many products as other countries. You might not have as many tools. While Blessing does an amazing job. I've seen your tools. They're amazing, aren't they? Right? The graphics, the community, there's a lot of things. But especially when you're pioneering something, what we need to do as leaders is we need to be sure that we are the types of people that people want to join. Because that's why I joined. Who here wouldn't mind a me and your team, by the way? There's a lot of me out there looking for people like you. Okay. So I joined him, never thought to make any money, but I just followed a couple of the basics. I'll give you some of these in just a bit today. I sucked for a long time. And eventually you can only suck for so long. Who here's happy that we can all change and we can grow, right? So 90 days in, I made enough to fuel me through college or university. But a couple years in, I made enough part-time where I never needed another job. And for the past 13 years, network marketing has been our lifeblood. And it's an absolute honor because I truly know that if someone like this guy could do something like this, you could do this. One thing I know about Africans, whether you're Nigeria or Africa, or maybe if you're not in Africa, you are passionate people. You love people and you are bold. Like the type of confidence and the courage and the willingness that you have, it puts, I'll just say on behalf of Americans, I think we're kind of lazy. I think we're kind of like you spoon fed certain things, but there's something about this country and your people that is spectacular. I have Nigerians in our team. We have South Africans in our team. And I don't know how you deal with load shedding, by the way. Like anyone that can deal with load shedding and like have a smile on their face, like, wow, like seriously. So anywho, it's been an absolute privilege. And let me share with you guys a couple things that we've learned in our journey that I hope can help you. Here's 3 values that I think are important to have, even besides the business and the product and all that. Number 1, if you want to win big in Partner Co, if you want to win big in your life, if you want to be the leader and the pioneers out there, number 1, I believe, especially in a market like this, it starts with what I call a God-sized goal. You need a major vision for your life. You need something so big. Here's how I define a God-sized goal. And I wish I knew this in the beginning, because most of us, we dream way too small. A God-sized goal is something that, number 1, you really, really want. Yeah, like you really want it. What is that for you, by the way? Put it in the chat. Like, what's a word that would describe what you want? For some of us, it might be retirement. For some of us, it might be freedom. For some of us, it might be options. Maybe it's respect, security. Like, what is success for you? What is something you want? Not that your parents want, not that society wants for you, not that your kids want. Time freedom, financial freedom. What else do you want? Right? Like, it's so important that you know what you want. Freedom and knowledge. I love that. Wisdom, seek wisdom above all things, right? Joy and freedom. Yes. Right. So number 1, legacy, impactful work. All these are amazing. So number 1 in a God-sized goal is something you want. It's your dream. I believe God gives each and every single one of us a specific call and an assignment that's only just for you. But number 2, here's the crazy part. I didn't understand this, but now I get it. Number 2 is this God-sized goal needs to be so big that you have no idea how to achieve it. Wait, what? Now, I don't know about you. Maybe Africans are different. This is how I thought growing up. This is how I set goals. I said, if I see it, then I'll believe it. Like, I have to know the plan. Is anyone else like me? You're very analytical. I have to like know the way, right? The products have to be here. The tools have to be here. The system needs to be here. I need to see the plan and then I'll run. But you know what I've noticed about successful people, about pioneers, about leaders? They think different. They're weird. We have weird people on here today. Hey, weird people make weird money, by the way. Good things. Okay. They don't need to see any plan. They just know that they have a God-sized goal. They really, really want it, and they will do whatever it takes to get there. They'll jump through whatever hoops it takes. They'll run as long as it takes to overcome as many obstacles as it takes because it's that big. That's why it's important to start with something you want, because let's be real, entrepreneurship is not easy. Life is not easy. So we need to have a payoff, a goal, a reward that is so big that on the lowest of times, it's still going to be worth it. Can we just be real with each other? It's okay if we're transparent with each other, you know, like everyone has bad days. There was many moments in my career that I wanted to give up. There was a moment that I told my own wife, we're throwing in the towel with this. We're giving up. We went from multiple six figures at one point to six figures in debt because we lost some things, just changed. And I told my wife, we give up. But if it weren't for a God-sized goal of what we wanted for our family, what legacy we wanted to leave, then we would not have overcome that. Okay. So a God-sized goal, something huge, something you absolutely want. Okay. And for me, being a person of faith, I believe it needs to be so big that the only way that you can win is that God bails you out. But that's just my personal note right there. Okay. If you're still with me, give me a wave or put a me in the comments. Core value number one. And I'd encourage you, especially if it's a holiday, this perfect time, reflect. Think, how do we 10x the vision? Right? How big is your team going to be in Africa? Like, are you going to have 100 people, 1,000 people? Are you going to be the first president, the first chairperson out in Africa or wherever you're representing? Why not you? Right? Do something huge. So there's number one core value. Number two core value is assuming you have this God-sized goal. Then number two is to lead by example, to lead from the front. This is, to this day, something that I'm so big on. I feel hypocritical and weird telling someone to do something if I'm not doing it. Have any of you been around someone like that before? Maybe you work somewhere. Have you? I know I won't ask you to name them, but if you've worked somewhere where you look at your managers, you look at the boss, you're like, they're telling me to work hard, but they're not doing anything, right, Precious? It's like, the best influence that you can have, the only change that you need to have is to look at yourself in the mirror and just be like, what do I need to do? If you want to lead a huge organization, and this is what I've realized in this business, and who here, by the way, has enrolled at least one brand partner into your business? Put a one in the comments if you enrolled in at least one. Sarah, you have. Nick's enrolled a lot, right? Leonie has. Awesome, awesome. Ben, awesome. Congratulations, right? I know that's something that I struggle with, Michelle. That first part, those first partners, you're so excited. And if you haven't yet, just stick with your leaders, follow what they tell you, and you're going to enroll somebody, right? You get your first person, you're like, all right, now I'm going to support them and love them, and we're going to be millionaires together. Right? That's kind of the feeling that I had. I don't know about you. But whatever, and then all of a sudden they stop doing things, or they're not as hungry as you, and you're like trying to resuscitate them. You're like, go, let's go, and you're like, you try to do everything. I remember I used to spend hours having conversations to try to inspire my one dream teammate. And what I realized was this is just like in the story of the sower and the seed, don't go chase the birds. It's important. The number one thing that we need to do as leaders is to make sure that we lead from the front at all times. What does that mean? To this day, I am still enrolling new partners. To this day, I am still enrolling new customers. In fact, I challenge myself to do more than anyone in the team. And I have like a friendly competition, right? I want everyone to win, but I feel like I should always be doing the most, or at least attempting to do the most, right? Because how can you lead someone else if you haven't been there? I never want to be in a place where someone can look to me and they're like, James, he's slacking. He's just trying to boss me around because he just wants to make money off of me. I never want to be in that position. I want to let them know that I have a vision, I have a God-sized goal. I'm getting there no matter what. And I would love to do it with you. But out of all love in my heart, I'm going to do it with or without you. I hope you caught
Mm,
that. I hope you caught that. When you're around somebody, that's how you become a number one recruiter, by the way. When people know that you're going to succeed no matter what, and they're like, man, they really don't need me. And isn't that the truth? You don't need anybody. By the way, who here wouldn't mind $10,000 a month US dollars, by the way? Like, is that a cool goal for us? Like 10,000. That's like, how much is that in Rand, Nick? Like, I forgot the conversions. Like, it's a lot, isn't it? Like, isn't it 40 times that? 200,000 Rand, or what's the Nigerian currency? Like, what's a conversion into Nigerian currency? 10,000 United States dollar a month. Like, this is life changing. That retires your family. That gets you out of your job. Like, that does a lot of different things, right? That's a lot of zeros right there, Nick. One, two, it's a lot. Yes. So, more than enough zeros. 4 million? Come on. That's incredible. You know, all it takes to have that much 4 million Nigerian currency, 200,000 Rand a month, 10,000 United States dollar a month. In this compensation plan, all you need is 2 strong leaders. That's all you need in this business. Seriously. Thank you. And I'm going to butcher your name, Botamelo. Probably wrong, but that's all you need. It was okay. I got it okay. All right, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. I thank you for that conversion right there. But if you lead from the front, what's our goal? You're not looking for masses of people. You're looking to sort through the many to find your 2 superstars, and they're going to be very obvious, very, very obvious. They just move. They're like you, actually. You're on here, you'll find them. Okay. But we need to make sure that we lead by example always. So think to yourself today, and I'm reflecting on this myself. Think about this last month. Okay. I want to ask you to participate in this. But if you were paid based on the income producing activities you were doing in your business this last month, only your own income producing activities, how much would you be willing to pay yourself for those efforts? Like, I think about that at all time, right? Some of you are like, oh, if you feel that way, that's good. That means you have an opportunity to change. But I'm telling you, I've noticed that my business always goes up when I'm focused on me again. I'm in a massive recruiting mode right now. I already spoke to probably 50 to 100 people earlier today, and it's 10:30 a.m. this morning. Like, I'm in massive prospecting mode right now. Why? I need a lead from front. Exactly, Elizabeth. I'm going to make it with or without you. And the third value, are you guys getting, is this fun? Are you guys getting some value with this? I hope this is reflective. I can tell you're engaged. I can tell you're thinking. I can tell you're getting this, Ben. You know, like, this is awesome. Here's the third one. Okay. Servant leadership. Servant leadership. So number one, setting a God-sized goal. It starts with that. Number two, leading by example. Always be pushing your own personal standard in how you're leading this business. And then number three is servant leadership. What is that? It's realizing, just like what our beautiful company has put together, we're better together. You see, one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my business is as I started to develop a team, I thought I had to be like the leader. I don't know if you know what I mean by this. Like, I had to look like the leader. I had to talk like the leader. Like, I thought I had to be the guy, the girl, like the go-to. Like I thought I had to be all put together and know all the answers and be the best and everything. It's a lot of pressure. And I think a lot of times, if we think that way, we're scared of leadership. But what I realized is when I did it that way, I truly believe one of the big reasons I've lost many teams, I've lost many leaders, I've lost major businesses. In a year, we lost 50% of our business at one point. I believe one of the big reasons is I didn't understand what servant leadership actually meant. Servant leadership is just like what Jesus did, washing his disciples' feet. Servant leadership is knowing that our mission is simply to help the other person. You fill in the gaps, and there's no ego in it. It's not for you, it's just for them. So, what does that actually mean? Here's a simple thing that I do. It's actually a prayer that I do before I do any type of business. And I just think on this call, in your next one-on-one, in your next phone call, in your next message, help me to not just do what I want, help me only to see what they need. It's a focus, it's a heart, and it's not about what I get out of it. You see, we all want to get paid. There's nothing wrong about wanting to get paid, by the way. There's nothing wrong about wanting to make more money. Who here, like this is an actual question. Who here wants to get paid more? You want to make more money in your business, right? Like that's okay. We should. But to get paid more, you don't focus on the getting paid. To get paid more, you focus on the value that you bring to who you're serving. Money is simply a byproduct of the service we provide to the marketplace. So when you're engaging with somebody, your team, your clients, your prospects, your leaders, whoever that it is, and it doesn't matter if they pay you or not, by the way. The biggest leaders, this is why Nick is so successful. You guys know this about Nick. He doesn't care if you're in his team or not. He's just like, if you're somebody in front of me that I can serve, I'm going to pour my life into you. I'm going to do whatever I can do to help you. And then from there, continue to move forward. One note on servant leadership, though. Servant leadership doesn't mean you're like I'm going to use a strong word. You're not a hired slave to somebody. What do I mean by this? I purposely use a strong word. You serve, and then if they are receiving it and they are reciprocal to it, serve more. But if you serve and then you see that they throw it away, or they don't treat you with respect for that service, they don't honor it, they kind of go down the priority list. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense, because sometimes we get into this helping mode and we help so much. Jim Rohn said, help those that deserve it, not those that need it. I've had many times that I got this wrong, and I've wasted a lot of time with people I thought needed it. You know, the friend that always complains about money, and you're like, I have a wedding finally, and then you're pouring out your life in them. Or the person that always has a complaint or always has a problem and goes to you for that. And then you're like, you feel good, like emptying your heart in them, right? You're like, I'm helping them. The reality is this, is that someone is only helped if their actions and their outcomes change after you help them. Does this make sense, guys? Be aware, because I know Africans have big hearts. Be aware of people that try to drain your genuine good interest and your intent. I have to mind myself all the time. Why? If you pour yourself into the wrong person, that one person could have withheld your ability to impact 1,000 people. Your energy, your time is so valuable, so valuable. But you have to make sure that you're serving the right people, okay? So with that, 3 core values to focus on. Number 1, have a God-sized goal. Do you know what that is for you? What's your vision, your partner vision, your partner co business? What's your vision for your family? Like, what is it going to become? Number two, lead by example. Think to yourself in a day, like, what am I actually doing in my business? Is it something that people would want to replicate? Is it something that people would actually want to be able to copy? I'm always thinking that. Some of us, it's time for a new chapter, by the way. Who here what is thinking to yourself, I need to set a new personal standard, right? Like personal standard, right? Give me a wave or a me in the comments if you're like, I need to do that. This is my time. I'm going to figure it out. No matter what the challenges are, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to recruit more. I'm going to sell more. I'm going to post more. I'm going to do whatever it is more. And then number three, are you willing to serve? Are you willing to serve those that deserve it, not need it? When you do these the right way, everything else gets back together. And it's absolutely beautiful. All right. Blessing, I want to toss it back to you for now. I could talk for days.
Thank you so much, James. That has been value, value, value. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing those values with us. We're totally taking that to heart because it is so relatable to us as Africans. And like you mentioned, we've got a big heart, and sometimes we can put all of that energy in the wrong place, and then feel totally drained at the end of the day, and we can't see the outcome of all the help that we've put in. So we're looking at it from a new perspective moving forward. Team, show some reaction if you have gotten value. Just put value in the chat if you've gotten value, value, value from this call. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, team. So it's time for questions now. James will take some questions for the next 10 to 12 minutes. So let us know if you have any question in the chat box. What would you like James to answer or to provide clarity for? Or you can just indicate and your mic will be turned on.
James, Nick.
What's up?
Of course.
Can I lead this blessing? Okay, so James, I want you to please share with us how you felt standing on the stage at the GoPro with Eric Worre, and what that event, and I want you to talk a little bit about events, the power of events, and what that event actually did to your thinking, to your network marketing career, and the importance of attending them. I know when I went to Grant Cardone to his event in Vegas in 2020, just before COVID, that for me was also the turning point. But I it's very different. Grant's different to Eric. Now, when you went to that event and I watched it and I saw you on the stage and I saw you were like a peacock. The wings, the feathers were out there and you were going. I'd share that feeling with us.
Absolutely. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Eric Worre is one of the top network marketing trainers in the world. He's trained the most $1 million a year earning leaders in the world. And his GoPro is the big annual event that he has. So this event specifically, there were 65,000 people watching it virtually from around the world, including your leader, Nick, right here. And what did that event mean? Well, there's a backstory to that. And the backstory is this. I mentioned earlier that we've had ups and downs in our business, but while we were on stage that year, I'll explain how we did it. Just a couple of years back is we went from multiple six figures to 6 figures in debt and almost quit this business. And it was one of those times that I honestly didn't think that I could dream again. Like, has anyone else dealt with something really bad in your life and you're like, is it worth it to, you get traumatized, right? Like you get hurt to think and to want again. But what happened was I set a new God-sized goal. I believe that God never wastes a pain. I believe that that pain can always be turned into purpose. And it's meant that testing is meant to be a blessing. Intended to use that word blessing, but only if you make that decision. So we made a decision, Nick. we said, all right, if we're going to do this again, we're going to set the next chapter. What would we want? What is this God-sized goal, right? If time and money were not an issue, we knew we couldn't fail, what would that be? And we started to write it down. We envisioned the team that we wanted. We wanted it a global business. That's one tip I give for you guys as well too, by the way. Build locally, but think globally. You know, there's Nigerians around the world. You know, there's South Africans around the world. Nick, actually, Stacy and Selwyn, there are officers in Australia. We just went to the Connect event over there for Partner Co. Selwyn, the husband, is South African. So there's like literally, you guys are everywhere. And there's something about Africans. When you meet another African, you just have an interconnection, right? So side note, but we set a goal for a global business. We wanted to be able to travel the world. We wanted to be able to have a certain type of person in our team. And that's where what we call the warrior movement was developed from. We made a goal. We said, we're going to transition from how we did things before to completely building online. That was new for us. And in a year and a half, our business was able to produce more than what our previous one that took 6 years to build did. What did that? A God-sized goal, an amazing team. And we hit multiple promotions. Along that way, I partnered with Eric Worre and I got more coaching. There's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will come. I've noticed that whenever you set new goals, one of the first things that you're probably going to think of is this: I need help. If you're not asking your mentors, here's another thing for us to think about. In the last month, how many times have you reached out to a coach or a mentor for help? Think about this. Is it that your coach or mentor is reaching down to you more, or is it that you're reaching to them more? If it's them reaching out to you more, chances are I can bet your business is not growing as fast as you want it to be. But if you've been reaching out to your mentor more, you're probably in a stage of growth because you're in learning mode. Sarah's doing weekly. Good job. I can tell Sarah's on it. So I found a mentor in Eric. I joined his program and I set a God-sized goal there. I wrote it on my card. I said, I didn't even know Eric. I've never spoken on a stage like that. But I said, I'm going to be on that stage next year. No idea how to do it, right? Something I wanted. I had no idea how to do it. It took God to bail me out. Guess what? That year, we grew our business enough where we were chosen to be on that stage in front of 65,000 people virtually. So how did it feel? It felt like a completed promise. It felt like I was already there. And that's the truth about any goal, right? It has to begin in the mind. It has to be real up here before you're there. The honest truth, Nick, when I was actually on stage, it's actually really warm. There's a lot of lights because it's a virtual studio. So it's really hot. So you're kind of sweating and stuff. No, but it was a moment of affirmation to say, wow, it's so important as leaders. I'm so grateful I didn't give up. I'm so grateful that I set a new God-sized goal, because that transformed not just our life, but so many lives that we were impacting, whether they're within our team or outside of the team as well too. Does that answer the question?
Thank you so much. Amazing story. Loved it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see a question with Michelle. Actually, I see two questions here. Blessing, is it okay if I just go through the chat and then I'll just address these? Okay, cool. I see Michelle and then I see Bortomella. All right, I'm going to get that down. Michelle, how do you know those deserving of a service of a servant leader? The easiest way is when you're working with somebody is work with them by assignment. So if I'm working with Leonie and we're doing a strategy and I'm like, all right, Leonie, at the end of this, here's a goal. Let's contact 10 people about the product. And can you let me know once you've done it by? Could be anything, right? Can we make a post? Can we do whatever? And if Leonie comes back to me and she says, I did it, deserving. If I start hearing nothing, crickets we call them, if I have to follow up multiple times, if she forgets, then I'm like, maybe Leonie's not, no, this is not this Leonie. Obviously, this Leonie is awesome. This is Leonie in an alternate reality, right? But if she does not follow through with the assignment, automatically they go down in my priority list. I want to work with people that treat their words seriously, even if they don't complete it. You know what's even more impressive? If someone doesn't complete it, but they own up to it and they take responsibility and they say, I tried my best and this is what happened, but this is what I'm going to do now. That's how I know who's deserving. It's based off of their actions. So I hope that's helpful. How do you build team culture? Probably the easiest first is embody the culture. All right. So for me, I've written down my vision statement. We wanted service-driven, impact-driven leaders. For me, this is my personal vision statement. We wanted our culture to look like the kingdom of God. All races, all tribes, all tongues, all types of people. So if you look at our team, we have teammates from 18 years old to 70 something years old, from black to white to everywhere in between, to around the world, you know, but also very excellent in what they do. So first, embody that. Second, talk about it. Right? People won't do it if we don't teach about it. So talk about your culture. In fact, you know, the best way to learn this right now is to see John and Darren and Partner Co, how they are instilling the 6 core values that Partner Co have. Has anyone here seen that, by the way? There's a slide out there now. There's 6 core values, like built to last, right? For example, like excellence in everything we do. There are values that we as a company have that they talk about, that they do, and that they preach about. So you can take notes on how this future multi-billion-dollar company is instilling culture in their team. In fact, here's something I'm doing. You might just do this too. I'm just going to take their values, which are our values, and I'm just going to start talking about those. Those are great values, right? Like, so just instill that into your own team. It works for your own team as well too. Hopefully that's helpful. And then I see one more hand. So Anyanwu, did I get that right? It's probably wrong. Nick's like, it's kind of there.
I think you got it right, James.
Okay, I got it right. Okay, sounds good. Cool.
Kingsley, your answer help?
Maybe it was up by mistake. No worries.
It's possible.
All good. Sarah said, should we be joining as many training Zooms that's possible with times I can work for you? Here's my tip on joining training Zooms is prioritize what you need. You don't want to get stuck. Oh, there he is. I'll get right back to you. Awesome. Tina thinks, oh, there's 7 now. Awesome. Thanks for sharing the values in the chat. You don't want to get stuck in learn mode. You want to make sure you can learn and do. Learn and do. You can literally spend your entire day on all the Zooms happening around the world, which won't help your business. True learning is only in doing. So I'd prioritize the ones that you want to build, number 1. So for example, is this a call that you're prioritizing for your business to build? I'll train this at another time, but there's 5 daily methods of operations that I train in your business. One of those is attending and growing events. Leaders attend, but grow them. So these success calls, I challenge you, the next one, Blessing, is it just every week? Is that how you're doing it?
Every week. Every
Next
Thursday.
week, here's my challenge for you. Who here is getting value just from the Success Series, by the way, right? Give me a wave or put a me in the comments. Okay. My challenge is the next time, will you come with more people? Right? We just come with another one. Like that's all you need. So you need to attend and grow them. Don't just be the attender, just taking notes all the time. Share the wealth. You know what's better? Instead of you training them, have someone else train them. Even easier. So attend and grow. So that's what I would say if you want to grow your business with that. And then Anyanwu, I know you are unmuted now.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks so much for the value you have shared so far. I really appreciate connecting to you from Nigeria. So my question is very simple. You said today before 10:30 a.m. You have already contacted like is it close to 50%? So number one question is how are you able to do that number of persons in a day? Then secondly, if somebody decides to get partner with you in your business, like what are the first steps the person through to get them running?
Awesome.
So those are my two questions.
Here's some building questions. Awesome. My encouragement first is connect with your leader that you're working with, because everyone has different systems. I'd follow whatever systems are in place on the next steps. But how did I do it? This is a good question. One thing I learned when I was relaunching my business, going along with the story of how I got on stage and everything, is going into the core value number 2 that I shared, leading by example. I realized that if I did not prioritize my personal, Tim Sales, you had him last week. He teaches on the pipeline, right? Prospecting and inviting and presenting and follow up and close, all that. If you missed that, you might want to go watch that replay. I'm sure it was good. Tim's amazing. So what I realized was this. I don't know if anyone else is guilty of this. I'd go through my day. I'd have good hopes and dreams. And I get super busy with all the Zooms and the calls and life and kids and work and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of it, I realized I forgot to do my personal prospecting. Like I just got too busy and it went on to the next day. And it's important. All those other things are important. But when I realized personal leadership was number 1, I made it a goal that every morning I do a daily quiet time. I do my daily rituals, feed you first. And then I put a select period of time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you could do an hour, great. Even if it's 15 minutes, that's amazing. And I said, in this time, the only thing I'm going to do is personal prospecting. I'm reaching out to new people. I'm inviting people to take a look at some information. I'm following up with people. And I did this. And when I did this, actually, here's exactly what I did. An hour a day in the morning before I talked to the team or anything else. I made it a goal. Actually, it was 30 minutes. I made it a goal to do 20 new outbound invitations to take a look at the product or business. Hey, Leonie, I know this is random. I found something that can help with bettering your health, your inflammation, your mood, your weight loss, whatever. If I could share some information with you, would you be open to take a look? If not, no worries, just thought I'd ask. Right? Product. Boitamelo. Hey, I found something. We're pioneering something in Africa. It's from United States, a huge company. If I could share with you some information on how to make money from your phone, would you be interested in some information? Just that, like, simple thing that takes, like, you can literally copy paste it, customize a little bit, right? So for 30 minutes, I would send at least 20 of those a day before I did anything else. And in the next 30 days, I personally recruited 20 people from that, two of which became top leaders. One of those actually led us to Australia, our entire team. So prioritize your personal prospecting, and whatever amount of time it is, that is like critical for you. You can't go out your day without doing that. Hope that makes sense. Onboarding, talk to your team, how they onboard. I'd use existing systems on how to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. Thank you. It's been an amazing evening filled with value, so much information to run with. And above all that James has shared, team, do not forget, if you take all the notes and you do not prioritize PartnerCo in your daily activities, the growth that you envisage will not happen. So first things first, prioritize PartnerCo in all of your conversations and dialogue. And that's by dedicating that number of time to doing your personal prospecting. James, what will be your final words for the team as we round up?
First, it's an honor. You guys are incredible. Like, you inspire me any single time I speak to someone in Africa, because I think I might have it tough, but you guys as a culture, as a community, as a history, have it way relatively tougher. But what's great about that is this, is the cliche that diamonds are made in the rough type of thing. It's absolutely true. And the type of character, the type of intelligence, the type of grit that each and every single one of you have, and the joy that you have, there is no reason why Africa can't be one of the leading countries in the world, because it's the people that build the business. It's not a product, it's not a comp plan, it's not anything else. It's the people. So it'd be such a joy to me when I see the day that Africa becomes one of the top countries in all of Partner Co. And I believe it's going to be because of you that are on this line. If anything, I'm just curious, 30 days from now, 90 days from now, who's going to be that next superstar story that Africa is praying for right now? Like, seriously, it can be everyone, but I'm curious who would be seriously committed to training this next 30, 60, 90 days with absolute focus. Because if you do, I'm telling you, that's all it takes to have Africa. If that's the case, if that's you, like you're really serious about that, put a me in the comments. And I asked this why, because your leaders, they need to know who's committed. They need to know who's actually going to be the ones that they want to invest into. You have amazing leadership. Just follow them. Awesome. Perfect. So leaders, you know who to connect with. It's an honor. Thank you for having me on, Blessing.
Thank you so much, James. And yes, I see all the me's. Myself and Neo is on the call, although it's public holiday in South Africa. Neo, we're glad to have you on the call. So Neo, take note of the me. We're going to be following up with all of them, all right? So it's been an amazing evening, team. Remember, prioritize Partner Co in all of your conversations. In the next 30 days, 90 days, we want to see that what James has provided for us this evening is helping us. We want to now see the outcome. Was this help worth it? Should we continue with the help? So we want to see the outcome. Thank you so much, team. Have an amazing evening. And thank you, James, for honoring our invitation.
Have a great one, guys. See you soon.
Thank you, James. Awesome. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Neil.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Nell. Thank you, Blessing.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you, team.